Bonjour, mon petit chou-fleur. That's French for hello, my little cauliflowers. I'm Timberlina and I've got a story I'd like to read for you today. The Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig is my new favourite book. It's by EugeneTrivizas and Helen Oxenbury. And it goes like this. Once upon a time, there were three cuddly little wolves with soft fur and fluffy tails who lived with their mother. The first was black, the second was grey, and the third white. One day the mother called the three little wolves around her and said, "My children, it is time for you to go out into the world. Go and build a house for yourselves. But beware the big bad pig." "Don't worry, mother, we will watch out for him," said the three little wolves, and they set off. Soon they met a kangaroo who was pushing a wheelbarrow full of red and yellow bricks. "Please, will you give us some of your bricks?" asked the three little wolves. "Certainly," said the kangaroo, and she gave them lots of red and yellow bricks. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of bricks. The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of bricks that the little wolves had built. The three little wolves were playing croquet in the garden. There they are. When they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside the house and they locked the door. The pig knocked on the door and grunted, "Little wolves, little wolves, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china pot." And there are the three little wolves, scared of the pig. "He's outside." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he huffed, and the house wouldn't fall down. There's the pig huffing and puffing. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and he fetched his sledgehammer and he knocked the house down. The three little wolves only just managed to escape before the bricks crumbled. They were very frightened indeed. "We shall have to build a stronger house," they said. Just then they saw a beaver who was mixing concrete in a concrete mixer. There's the beaver mixing concrete in the concrete mixer. "Please, will you give us some of your concrete?" asked the three little pigs. "Certainly," said the beaver, and he gave them buckets and buckets full of messy, slurry concrete. So the three wolves built themselves a house of concrete. There they are, building the house of concrete with a pulley system to pull up the bucket of concrete. No sooner had they finished than the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house of concrete that the little pigs had built. They were playing battledore and shuttlecock in the garden when they saw the big bad pig coming. They ran inside their house and they shut the door. And there are the wolves playing battledore and shuttlecock. The pig rang the doorbell and said, "Little frightened wolves, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house, it didn't move. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and fetched his pneumatic drill and smashed the house down. There's the pig with his pneumatic drill smashing the house down. The three little wolves managed to escape, but their chins were trembling and trembling and trembling. Oh my goodness, does that look scary or what? We shall build an even stronger house, they said, because they were very determined. Just then, they saw a lorry coming along the road carrying barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks. Please, will you give us some of your barbed wire, a few iron bars and armor plates and some heavy padlocks? They said to the rhinoceros who was driving the lorry. Sure, said the rhinoceros, and gave them plenty of barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks. He also gave them some plexiglass and some reinforced steel chains because he was a very generous and kind-hearted rhinoceros. So the three little wolves built themselves an extremely strong house. It was the strongest, securest house one could possibly imagine. They felt very relaxed and absolutely safe. And there they are with the rhinoceros, getting all of their materials to build their most safest house ever. The next day, the big bad pig came prowling along the road as usual. The little wolves were playing hopscotch in the garden. When they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside the house, bolted the door, and locked all 77 padlocks. The pig pressed the video entrance phone and said, "Frightened little wolves with the trembling chins, let me come in." "No, no, no," said the little wolves. "By the hair on our chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. So he huffed, and he puffed, and he puffed, and he huffed. But the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't called the big bad pig for nothing. He bought some dynamite, laid it against the house, and lit the fuse. And there is the big bad pig. Look, with his dynamite. And there he is trying to get into the house. The safest house of all. Oh my goodness. He's lit the fuse and the house blew up. But the little wolves just managed to escape with their fluffy tails scorched. "Something must be wrong with our building materials," they said. "We have to try something different." But what? At that moment, they saw a flamingo bird coming along, pushing a wheelbarrow full of flowers. "Please, will you give us some of your flowers?" There's the flamingo, pushing a wheelbarrow full of flowers. "With pleasure," said the flamingo bird, and gave them lots of flowers. So the three wolves built themselves a house of flowers. And there it is, beautiful house of flowers being built by the wolves. One wall was of marigolds, one of daffodils, one wall of pink roses, and one wall of cherry blossoms. The ceiling was made of sunflowers, and the floor a carpet of daisies. They had water lilies in their bathtub and buttercups in their fridge. It was a rather fragile house and it swayed in the wind, but it was very beautiful. And look there, there's a wolf having a bath in the bathtub with the lilies. Next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road and saw the house full of flowers that the little wolves had built. He rang the doorbell and said, "Little frightened wolves with the trembling chins and the scorched tails, let me in." "No, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. Look, there's the wolves being scared, and there is their little china teapot. But as the big bad pig took a deep breath, ready to huff and puff, he smelt the soft scent of the flowers. It was fantastic. And because the scent took his breath away, the pig took another breath, and then another, and then another. And instead of huffing and puffing, he began to sniff. He sniffed deeper and deeper until he was quite filled with fragrant scent. His heart became tender and he realized how horrible he had been in the past. In other words, he became a big, good pig. He started to sing and dance the tarantella. There he is dancing the tarantella, and there he is sniffing the flowers in the soft scented air. At first, the three little wolves were a bit worried, thinking that it might be a trick. But soon they realized that the pig had truly changed. So they came running out of the house, they introduced themselves and started playing games with him. First, they played Pig-Pog, then they played Pig in the Middle, and when they were all tired, they invited him into the house. They offered him China tea and strawberries and wolfberries and asked him to stay with them as long as he wanted. The pig accepted, and they all live happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed that little story. Thank you very much. And I'm Timberlina. Goodbye.